In this particular type of technology, what you do, it's a lot gently stimulation, and it's only limited to skin. That's why there is a communication, there is an element of feedback. And this feedback, it's like dialogue, like you're speaking with someone on the mobile phone. It's bidirectional. So through the skin, when the brain stimulates the release of certain chemicals, it changes electrical property and it allows the current to come in or disallows it. So it's a constant dialogue. This is the key. If you work with technology which is designed to automatically read the electrical property of the human body, then it will be much more tuned. I call it personalized medicine. And it's personalized through technology, which is much more precision. It's a precision technology.
Welcome to Harmonic Alignment, a podcast that explores the new frontier of energy medicine, bridging the gap between Western medicine and quantum physics, giving you easy and practical solutions. Guided by me, Dr. Larisa Sharipova, and me, Priscilla Koblenz. Join us on a journey discovering your harmonic alignment. The future of wellness is here. On today's episode of Harmonic Alignment, bioenergetics. There is so much excitement in understanding how new tech can help the body heal at a cellular level by getting more energy into the cells. We have a returning guest, Dr. Zulia Frost, who is a pioneer in understanding how bioenergetics and red light, how frequency and sound can help restore energy at a cellular level. Dr. Larisa Sharipova and her go through the excitement of the new version of the miHealth device. miHealth device is from Energy for Life. I have been using the original version of miHealth almost daily for the last 4 years. This is truly my doctor in my pocket. I don't leave home without it. And this latest version has really exciting new stuff from a pulse reader to red light. Dr. Zulia is going to show you these devices. So if you want to, visit our podcast, Harmonic Alignment Podcast, on YouTube so you can see this for yourself. This is really exciting. If you are interested and want to know more, Dr. Larisa and I would love to chat with you about the power of this technology and would love to help you try it for yourself. So please reach out if this podcast speaks to you. Like and share with your family and friends because this is so exciting. Healthcare is changing, and I think in such a better way. We're going to get more empowered to help get more energy in our bodies so that we really can heal.
Welcome to Harmonic Alignment. Today I have our guest who's coming back for our interview, Dr. Zulia Frost. Welcome back, Dr. Zulia.
Thank you so much, Larisa, for inviting me again. I look forward to share with all my knowledge about this particular subject.
Today we have another device that Dr. Zulia involved with and very passionate about technology. We will talk about a miHealth device, the handheld biofeedback device, and all knowledge that Dr. Zulia has about that. Before we talk about the device, let us talk about the field of bioenergetics. So what's the human bioenergetic system, if you can start there?
Well, it's a really, really good question. Let's establish this. So bioenergetic device, most people are taken aback because they think, oh, it's going to be some whooshy stories about healers and crystals and everything. And I want straight away to make record straight. We're talking about scientifically established field of modern medicine. It's a field where we study physics of the body, not just chemistry like most orthodox medicine is built on. So the fact that we emanate energy, it's well-established scientific fact. You could feel the heat coming from the skin, right? This is infrared spectrum of light energy as an energy. You feel there are devices which record noise coming from the body. There are devices record also electrical field around the body. So collectively, this is all called biofields. It's multiple fields, multiple layers around the body, which now, again, proven by the mainstream physics, exists in the body. So now we want to understand how to manipulate with these fields to make impact on your well-being. So this is particularly field of bioenergetics. Talking about the energy aspect of this. So every field we mentioned about, it's actually possesses energy, and human body cannot live without energy. Every process is fueled by energy, and if every cells generate this energy. So when we talk about the cellular health, we typically refer to a mitochondria generation of the cells called ATP. We generate through ATP energy. We've got also electrical fields, electromagnetic fields, in synchronicity with our Earth magnetic field and other fields surrounding us in the cosmos, so to speak, altogether. So what we're trying to do with this particular aspect of science, to understand how can we control and how can we read this electromagnetic field from the body, how can we tune the body to function better back to the original sort of healthy field.
So how you got involved with miHealth specifically?
I've got involved at the very, very early stage. I'd even say approximately 1997. You'll be very surprised. But I was one of the first people who pay attention to the development of this field. And because I was trained in Russia, or Russian model of education, that was very natural for me to learn technology which can improve the function of the human body. Even in medical school, we learn about lasers, we learn about electricity, we learn about ultraviolet radiation, infrared radiation, to actually have positive impact on the health. So for me, it was very natural when first time I was exposed to technology, which came also out of Russia, to instantly take it in and understand and use it. First of all, on myself, I was the patient zero, how they say, patient number one was me. And when I got remarkable results, trying to recover after month of the horrendous damage I had to my body done through the car accident. And I was able to use these modalities to fix my health without using medication, without using drugs. So that was really fascinating for me. So from the first hand, I learned that it could have a tremendous impact. And since it became simply my passion, because I want to tell the world that with technology, we can tune your body, you can tune your field, you can find where the energy blocks. And then with the same technology, you can fix this, unblock it, make the energy flow in the whole system, and ultimately recover.
Mm-hmm. I want to tell everyone that Dr. Zulia told more about her story in our previous podcast. So we're going to put a link in our show notes so you can listen more and deeply about how Dr. Zulia was helping herself and her story about her car accident and what happened after that. So can you explain the science and technology behind the miHealth device? How does it differ from other energy medicine devices that are out there?
Number one, the difference is scientifically based. The actual technology, which I mentioned, came from Russia, actually was developed on the space research program. So it was developed by scientists who work in electrical engineering and also cosmology. So the technology was referred as self-controlled neuroadaptive stimulation, which basically you work with your nervous system by stimulating the body. Gradually, when it stepped out of Russia and went through the series of transformation, end up being one of the major parts of miHealth technology. So for simplicity, we can refer to it as non-invasive interactive neurostimulation. When it is in the skin contact, it creates a circuit between the device and human skin. And signals, they are pulsing signals, will be stimulating only the skin level. And that stimulation will inevitably stimulate the nerve endings, which are situated in the skin across the whole of the body. And of course, what is nervous system? Nervous system, it's our signaling system. So it's going to signal to the brain about particular damage. So if you run the device over the area which is inflamed or damaged, or you have some trauma, the signal changes because our biochemistry and our biophysics changes when experiencing trauma. And the device picks up that subtle change and starts stimulating this area. It actually have really peculiar property. It literally sticks to this body as if it wants to talk about this particular trauma to your brain. And so what's happening inevitably that our brain perceives this stimulus as a warning about some kind of danger. And when this process is happening, there is creating a dominant in the brain which convey the responses. And responses will be aimed at fixing this problem. So you engage your nervous system instead of just blocking it. That is the first difference with the ordinary electrical stimulation technology, like TENS. You're familiar with TENS. TENS are designed to stimulate with electrical current so strongly, so it's override the dominant of pain. In this particular type of technology, what you do, it's a lot gently stimulation, and it's only limited to skin. That's why there is a communication, there is an element of feedback. And this feedback, it's like dialogue, like you're speaking with someone on the mobile phone. It's bidirectional. So through the skin, when the brain stimulates the release of certain chemicals, it changes electrical property and it allows the current to come in or disallows it. So it's a constant dialogue. This is the key. If you work with technology which is designed to automatically read the electrical property of the human body, then it will be much more tuned. I call it personalized medicine. And it's personalized through technology, which is much more precision. It's a precision technology. This one concept at the foundation of miHealth device. Beyond that, there is another technology. We've got the pulse magnetic stimulation here. You probably heard of the PEMF technology. People refer to this as PEMF, pulsing electromagnetic mats, or sometimes people have a device like a wand which produces. This is invisible technology. It pulses with specific field. It's like magnetic therapy. And this field is oscillating, yes? And when the field is oscillates, the cells at your body will feel this fluctuation of their field and receive energy through concept of resonance. So if you send stimulation, there will be resonance concept. In this case, the pulse magnetic field will be oscillating, giving energy to the cells. In this new device, which I hold in my hand, you also have a light. And this light is going to pulse through these lasers. But now we come into most interesting part of miHealth device. Every single entity, like neurostimulation, electromagnetic stimulation, light stimulation, all this come in tuned to a very specific frequencies, precisely tuned frequency to your body. This particular device becomes so effective because all this fine-tuning of your biofield will be aimed to get your body to perfect state where you have healthy oscillation in the body. Okay, so it's like you're coming back home with this pharmaceutical. So this is really the key why particularly this miHealth device step out of the predecessors like scanner devices, like Interact devices, because it's got this specific tuned frequency on the top of everything.
Each organ and tissue in the body has its own specific frequencies, like wavelengths. So we programmed this device specifically for areas like tissue, organs, because there is a specific frequency, and we put that frequency in the device so it's resonating and give whatever body needs, whatever is disbalanced or needed, correct?
It is exactly. Moreover, I just want to tell you that, again, in this new version of miHealth device, we've got specific tissue for rehabilitation. Like if you deal with, let's say, broken muscles, like or muscular tissue is damaged by injury or even inflammation, right? So you can program and fine tune to repair specifically muscular tissue. Or you deal with fascia. You can put fascia frequency. You could put nerve frequency. You can even put skin frequency, which will be in resonance if you're treating, for example, skin condition or wounds. There is also another big concept, we call them wellness program. And wellness program will cover to help a specific frequency to improve your sleep, to improve your digestion, so you reabsorb better nutrients from your foods, to improve your physical performance, improve your mental clarity, your cognitive abilities, you name it, everything. And the new set of interesting programs will be the programs based on the body systems. Like we traditionally know from biology lesson, yes, we've got new nervous system, we've got the gastrointestinal, reproductive system, and so on. So you would be able to tune to down to specific organ, a very specific system. And then everything happens automated. All these pharmaceuticals will be stimulating the body in automated fashion, so you don't need to do much. The treatment would become so easy.
What do you mean automation? Is it already programmed whatever your body needs?
Yes, as a user, you have to choose which option you want to optimize in the body. And then when you start placing it on the body, it will automatically turn on at the right time.
Oh,
When,
wow.
for example, it finds the low impedance, that sticky point, it will automatically turn and stimulate that particular tissue. You want to have specific process, like people experiencing pain, it's imbalance, right? So you can say, okay, pain imbalance, acute or chronic imbalance, and it will help you with this particular issue.
I use it on the skin when I have like burn or cut, and I notice when I put right away after I cut myself, even it's bleeding, I put the electrodes on my cut and it heals very fast without scars. I use it all the time like a first aid for everything.
Totally. This is my experience. And remember, I've been using this kind of technology since 1997, almost like in 2 years' time will be 30 years. I can't believe that's long. But just yesterday, my husband woke up and he said, oh my God, I can't turn on my side. From, I don't know what he's done, even maybe from exercises immediately, because devices like this right by my bedside. So I treated him in 15 minutes, he's zero pain.
So using those devices for that long, how do you see affected your specific health and prevent any diseases?
Absolute confession, I have not taken medication for at least 25 years.
Wow.
Zero. I don't take any medication because I do not need it. Of course, there was a period in my life, I'd say mid-40s, when I was traveling so much and I was super stressed because the work was really hectic and took toll on me. But now in my older years, I feel fantastic. I can run for 1 hour without any stop. Breathing is normal. I do everything I want to do. If I want to climb the mountains, I can. If I want to dance the whole party till 3 a.m., I can.
Wow, amazing. So let's talk about practical aspect of it, how practitioners can integrate miHealth device in their clinical practice.
Highly recommend for all of you to have this device and use it with every single patient, okay? Why? Because there are so many things that are synergetic. Like if you, for example, doing acupuncture, then you can place miHealth device in that area, or if you know like specific maybe points, you can also stimulate with miHealth device. And remember what it does, it's not only working on this information level we were just talking about, but it also physically gives the body energy, tangible energy, electrical energy going to be flowing through the connective tissue. So your healing will be potentiated. I would say you can use it in two ways. One, to prepare patient for manipulation, for example, if you're any kind of manual therapist. So when you stimulate with miHealth device, the muscles spasm goes. So the tissues become more pliable, easy to manipulate, and less damage to the patient. So you can prepare your patients to manipulation, or you can use during the session, like I gave you example with acupuncture. And you can devote the whole session just doing miHealth device. It typically half an hour. And then you can add any bells and whistles, whatever practice you do. If you're a functional therapist, it's absolutely incredible working with the gut. I think I fixed so many irritable bowel syndrome with this technology. So it's incredible because it's all kind of linked with the spasm of the bowels themselves. And when the bowels is spasm, what's happening? The food cannot get through it. Yes. So the food stays. If bowel spasm in two places, the food in between will be stagnant. And when it's stagnant, not digesting properly, it starts fermenting, it starts creating various protein bits and pieces, which then body develop allergies to it. And this is a problem because then people start feeling allergic to this and that, and they start, eating less, and they eat very little and they don't get proper nourishment. So in this situation like this, you can also use miHealth device, because what it's going to do, it's going to relax the bowel and the food can now flow through. Another approach you could use it post-treatment. I have actually a rental kit, which I give to a patient, and they continue working. And as a result of it, what we get continuation of the progress. It's not like patient has to wait a week or 2 weeks to see me. They continue to step by step improving their health towards recovery. It absolutely is energetic with everything. The only thing I wouldn't use simultaneously is TENS device, because I think this is much more superior. Why do you need to use TENS?
And because it has biofeedback device, I don't think you can overstimulate with
Exactly.
device as a tent, which is more stimulating. This is more modulating. If body needs that, that gives. If it body doesn't need, it just doesn't give any feedback, right?
Exactly. And you hit the nail on the head, because everything about the therapy is that dose. With light therapy, we talk about the dose of light, how long you stimulate it. With miHealth device, it's going to tell you when you place and hold the device on the spot, it's going to calculate electrical property of the skin. And when it's saturated with energy, it will give you a beep. So as a therapist, don't worry. Everything is automated. As soon as you hear that beep, you move to next area of application. So easy to use, fantastic, super effective.
So you talk about using device in a clinical practice or for practitioners. Is it safe to use at home? Can clients buy the device and use it at home, and how they could use it?
First of all, it's absolutely safe for you to use at home. It's absolutely no worries whatsoever. The only complicated things is how to go through device, how to choose right features, and etc. So this is my challenge right now, because what I'm doing, I'm actually looking proactively and I'm thinking what the patient wants to know. Okay, how do I recover from, say, fatigue? Yes. And I would create a specific sequence of instructions, which you will be able to download from the website. So we call them protocols. And then it will help patients to self-use it. But I always encourage therapists work with their own patients, because the therapist would know exactly what you need. The therapist would know where to place best, for how long to stimulate, because there is a slight different application if you deal with something acute injury compared to chronic injury. And so your therapist will give you much better instructions for that.
And I think it would be more personalized when the practitioners work with their clients. So yes, I can buy a device and use mostly for wellness purposes.
Yeah.
But if I have something serious, I would like somebody who guide me through the treatment that I need.
Absolutely. That would be absolutely my approach too. Yeah.
And also, I believe that device is linked to the scan, so we can scan our body right through the BWS, which is bioenergetic wellness system, right? And we can create personalized based on whatever our energy is running right now, where is the blockage. So we can put a folder from the scan in the device and use the folder.
Yes, what you mentioned is it's quite unique program, but there are already significant number of therapists, like a network of therapists who have this bioenergetic wellness system, which analyzes through your voice scan. Basically, it's analyzing the field through vibration of your voice. And as a result, you will give the in priority manner recommendation which programs to use. So we call them custom cycles. Yes, these custom cycles in, again, new device you would be able to download, because first when you set up your device, you connect to the internet on the device itself. And if your practitioner already created your custom cycle, then you can just download here, and all you have to do, you use it every day or whatever practitioner is instruct you to do. And you can use it directly over their body on the skin contact, or there is another brilliant feature of this device. You can use it off body. And off body, that means that it can be placed near the body, but it fluctuates your field. So it's still going to be impact, and quite a remarkable impact, because you have this fine tuning of your body going on, and you daily you stimulate it, and you can get the eventually correction, and effect will be phenomenal.
I want to talk about emotional connection to the energy field and how emotions affect our energy field. Can this device be used for emotional disturbances and mental health?
Yes, absolutely. There are also folder, like a package of the programs which related to the emotions. Emotions are very important for us, not in terms that we experience in them, but in terms that if you experience any emotion too long and too much, that will be physiological impact on the body. Like if you feel frustrated and unappreciated and angry all the time, it's actually can damage your liver. This is from TCM perspective. Or if you live in a constant fear, like maybe abusive relationship or something, that could also impact your physical body. It will impact your kidneys and so on. A lot I hear, particularly from young people now, anxiety, tremendous anxiety, free-floating anxiety. They don't know why they're anxious, but they're anxious. This is your first tool, I would say, because if you use it on regular basis, right by the 10-15 minutes of use of the program, you feel so calm. And if you keep repeating day by day, the body experiencing calm as normal state, not anxious as normal state, and there will be a shift. So yes.
I use for that purposes at work. I always have my device with me where I go. And sometimes even some of my colleagues, they already know about this device. I feel so nervous. So I had like fight with the boss or something like that. They come like, where you go for 15 minutes and I feel calm. So
Yes, it's instant effect, right? It's kind of by the end of it, you just feel so peaceful. I think all our young, they need it in every single home.
Speaking about clients, can you give us some examples or cases where you use those miHealth device and help clients or see major differences in their health?
It's mostly common, what I see, neck pain. Neck pain, joint pain. 2 days ago, one of my patients called me and is like in absolute agony pain. He lifted something really heavy, and I first by talking to him, I thought that they might have slipped the disc in the neck in one area. But he said he was in absolute agony pain, even took medication. He's not really for medication, but he took it and didn't sleep all night, waited to the morning to call me, and in absolute exhaustion, please come. I treated him for 30 minutes, just working over the area. going over this area. And then I did soft tissue release. There is a specific technique you have to learn. With soft tissue technique, adjusted a little bit the position of the neck. And the miracle was unbelievable. Like, I stop in half an hour and he says, I can't believe there is no pain, zero pain. Like, fantastic results. So this is with the new device. The joint pain is very often like knee osteoarthritis. It's a chronic condition. So what typically you're looking at, if it just come up as in a state of inflammation, this is the best time to take patients for treatment, because if you take a patient in between these inflammation spikes, then you have to work to stimulate the body to produce inflammatory response, and then you start reducing inflammation. So this is a key. So if they come in a peak of inflammation, it requires approximately 4 weekly sessions. Okay, in 4 weekly sessions, pain, if it was say 8, you can get pain down to 2 consistently. Range of motion, swelling reduction, all of it in this 4 weeks time with chronic knee osteoarthritis. But sometimes it could be a complicated case because it's not just knee in isolation. Lots of time it comes through the back pain. And back pain is because we all sit in, we become heavy, and we compress on the nerves, and the nerve fires, and then they end up having inflammation in the knee, in addition to osteoarthritis. This is more complicated. I would say you do 2 courses, one of 4 sessions, and then break for 2 weeks, and then second. That would also work as well.
So you need to work on the spine as well if you know that there is a problem. So not both areas.
Absolutely. Spine, and in my training courses, I talk about concept of dermatomes. For you to understand simply, like the nerve grow out of the spine and they go down to either the arms or legs, like branches of the tree. So when we use miHealth device, we're going to be working on that trunk, but also the branch, all the branch to the point where it manifests. If you suspect there is something to do with the spine.
People know probably sciatica. It's like, yes, they know it's from the spine and goes down the leg. So
Exactly. And with sciatica, interestingly enough, just treating where pain manifests, it's not clever. You need to treat both sides. Why? Because with sciatica, again, it's typically something chronic but aggravated, yes? So exacerbated this moment of time. So very often we compensate from the other side. So almost the muscles started overdeveloped on the other side. And because of this, the whole spinal column start shifting and start compressing on the other side. So very often what I found, because I use reading mode, the reading mode enables you to take readings of skin impedance and make analytical decisions. So on a day, if you take left and right, and you see the high readings on the left compared to the right, and the pain expressed on the right, yes, that means you need to work on the left side, not where the pain expressed itself. So for me, this is an incredible tool because of this. The body will guide you where you have to put your efforts today.
Because of all this technology that is put in the device, I think it's the best for practitioners to use and advise their clients how to use, because there is so much information and you need to learn all of that. And I know you're giving courses to practitioners how to use that smart device, right? Because it does a lot of different things. And one thing we didn't talk about it, that is in the device, reading the pulse. Can you talk more about that?
So what we've done with the miHealth device is to be able to help you in understanding. This is not traditional Chinese medicine pulse, but it's a technology applied, and technology applied as such. So you have this opening in the side of the device. You put your finger here. The laser would be reading the fluctuation of the blood in the finger, and it represents your pulse. And this fluctuation are characteristic. It's got different patterns. We group these all patterns by 5 principles of traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture. They call them 5 elements. Spleen as for digestive system, heart as for cardiovascular, liver, for biliary system, kidneys, and also air for lungs, yes? But of course, this is not a diagnosis. This is not medical. It's just 5 elements, because in TCM, these 5 elements are attributed to everything in nature. Like energy of the liver, it's compared to energy of wood or tree, which is growing and expanding. Based on this, so you place the finger here and you click the start of the assessment, and you will see in sort of under 1 minute, it will assess the pulse fluctuation pattern, and it gives you breakdown in these 5 elements. It's going to tell you which element is most misaligned. So let's say spleen come up, which represents digestive system. And then you click on that option and it will give you the idea where to place on the body, which would be the stomach. Yeah, so you can place on the stomach or you can place near the stomach, and it's going to produce this infoceuticals with pulse magnetic field. If it's in skin contact, it's also give you a little bit physical energy input. You can actually progress and see how your patient progressing, and it's not unusual for one to have maybe spleen in one session, then the liver on next session, because that's how we're going through tuning our body to perfection.
Wow. So it's like having a doctor on one machine that can do a lot of different things.
Yeah, I think it's such a great tool because it's like all in one and it's in your pocket. Because, if like my patient called me 2 days ago, all I had to do just get the device with me and that's it. How brilliant is that? You don't need to carry like heavy equipment or anything. So I never travel without.
Yes, it's so many benefits. But also, if your clients have the device and they have like acute something happening, they can call a practitioner. Practitioner can advise them how to use the device or do the scan through the voice and precisely and personally provide the healing, correct?
Yes, this is also useful, and it's also happened to me many, many, many times. I mean, I don't even have holidays. It's always somebody on the phone saying, "Oh, how do I do this? How do I do that?"
That's why I think it's better to have a connection with the practitioners. If you have the device, if you bought the device, find a practitioner, so buy the device from the practitioner, so you have a connection and kind of guidance by using that smart technology, because sometimes it's become overwhelmed, but you need somebody who to guide you. From our last podcast, you talk about flex beam. How do you implement and using those devices together? Give us some benefits, because I have both.
What you should understand fundamentally, when you get sick, when something has happened, whether it's an injury or whether you just gradually got some kind of autoimmune condition, whatever, you need always start your healing from energy. Without energy, nutrition won't work. The adjustment won't stay after manipulation. So for me, these 2 devices, they are like my best choice, best pick. This is Flex Beam, by the way. It generates light. So how different it's to miHealth is that miHealth produces electrical, electromagnetic. There is a little bit of light, but it's only to deliver the specific infoceuticals. Here is opposite. This is steady, very solid, very strong, potent red and near-infrared light, which near-infrared light will deliver energy deep, deep in the body. When you want to start with energy, especially somebody who is really, really fatigued, very fragile, really sick, if you do too much of this, you may stimulate if patient is in pain, yes, because that's why we always say half an hour is enough. But in combination, when you do 2, you can actually get that energy up. And when you get the energy up, then further work is mostly tuning, So to me, this is the one which I would use together in one session. I would put Flex Beam over the stomach like this, or over the heart. Near-infrared light gonna go through the tissues and potentiate mitochondria in the heart. So same for the gut, because to me, when you put the Flex Beam on the stomach, you basically stimulating their energy production because we draw energy from the food we eat. So to improve the whole digestion. And then afterwards, you just slowly circular motion, just work over the stomach just to finish it all together. And I would use also on the spine. So it will be positioned over the back, all of the spine. If people are super, super fatigued, I would ask to put them above their waistline, and these two modules with light will stimulate adrenals. And you know how many people have now adrenal fatigue because we live in a stressful time. People always find something to be stressed about. We need to help the body. Even if you're not sick, even if nothing is wrong with you, you could use both devices just to keep at optimal stage and prevent you from situation when suddenly, boom, you have an injury and the body draw all resources of energy to this fixing that injury, and you suddenly feel you lacking that fundamental energy. So you need to have reserves in the body.
And it's like building resiliency. When you use it on a regular basis, you build resiliency, and when you deal with physical or emotional stress, you recover much faster.
Absolutely. And you don't get so much ill. People nowadays, they constantly, throat or sniffling. Actually, COVID was 2 days for me, very quick. But because the energy is there, present in my body, and I use both devices really like together. Again, you can use simultaneously, or you can use, for example, Flex Beam first, and then use miHealth device, or do the whole session, half an hour with miHealth device, especially when people have pain. And then after, I just put them lying down, resting, because you kind of need that rest after the session, right? Because you gave so much information for the body needs to process it. So having Flex Beam put afterwards, it helps them not to jump and go and drive somewhere being stressed again, but complete the session, be in relaxed state, and that's where the healing can happen.
Amazing. How do you handle skepticism, especially from other doctors or researchers about all these technologies and specifically miHealth or FlexBeam?
I understand where they're coming from. I don't get aggressive or angry because once I was skeptical, once I could not understand. To me, that was something you don't see, something you don't touch, you don't feel what it's doing. Oh, some prickling on your skin. That's nonsense, yeah? And so I understand where they're coming from. So there is no judgment, number one. Number two, you need to operate with the scientific evidence. And for both technology, there is sufficient amount of peer-reviewed studies on the internet. And if you need to resort and quote specific study, that's what I normally do because I read studies almost every day. I can always come back and say, this study demonstrated if you use it 3 times a day, for example, with acute pain, you can arrest pain, and here the study. The third step I would take is to give them to try. Either give them a free session or give them device to try if they're interested to implement in the clinic. For sure, why not? And I would even spend time guiding people because I think when I started, Larisa, there was just few people on the planet even wanting to know about this. And now when I hear that they use this technology in Walter Reed Hospital, which is for veterans, I feel very proud of people who I train and who, propagated this knowledge and ideas. Also, we live now in technological era. If you don't adopt the technology, you'll be left behind. This is friendly technology. It's not like something nasty way. It's the technology speaks with your body. It works with your body. It's optimizing it. So I think we're in the right time and people should listen and at least give it a try.
And where do you see the future of energy medicine and technology like this technology and heading in maybe few years or decade from now?
I see it very soon to be adopted because you know what, AI is progressing really, really, really fast. Honestly, in 3 years' time, we won't be able to live without AI. That's how fast it's absolutely infiltrated every aspect of your life. Bioenergetics, it's a natural progression because as much as I believe everything has got own place, I think the dominance of pharmaceuticals been far too long. With pharmaceuticals, we get side effects. You fix one symptoms, but you get two more things wrong. So, I mean, if we learn or if we teach other practitioners to understand that you can achieve the same result by tuning with your body, with your manipulating with your biofields, why would we need side effects, right? I think it will be natural progression and will be fairly soon. So I'll give you an example. Probably about 80% of the whole drugs in pharmaceutical industry for cardiovascular diseases are aimed at releasing nitric oxide. Of course, you take it, but you have to be careful. There are so many side effects, as I said. But with both technologies, particularly with this one, you release it without any side effects. And it comes even with benefits because you can bind to oxygen better, cytochrome C oxidase, mitochondria works better, and you get energy. And you got this nitric oxide release, which vasodilation. The same when you work with the miHealth device. So we need to be open to this. We need to see the evidence and, march in the future with open hand.
And with all the technology now, we can do testing, we can do reading our body, as you said, AI helping with all of this, because there is so much information there, and AI help us to put in the systems and also help us to create those devices and programs, because it's all feedback, right? You read something and you give something that is needed. And that's how body heal. If you give body what's needed and remove what doesn't need, it heals. That's simple.
Exactly. So we need to learn how to create healing environments so the body can use natural resources to heal itself. This is kind of my slogan in what I do. Recharge the bodies to heal themselves. Yes, that's my paradigm where I live. And I think if we are able collectively to create this using just tools, we will have much healthier environment, much healthier population. I'm really sad to see how many young people suffer with depression, all these mental illness diseases, and lots and lots of girls come to me and their hormones is all over the shop. I mean, this is a pandemic and we need to help young people to get healthier and better.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else that you would like to tell us?
What I would like people just to go and try it, keep your mind open, try it. And if it works for you, take it and you use it. Because in the end of the day, all our collective efforts are aimed for help you as a person, whether you're therapist or patient, you're still a human being and you want to be healthy. And we're here to help you.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Zulia.
No, thank you. It's great to talk about something which matters to you. And I always enjoy so much to be able to pass the message to and giving the opportunity. Thank you, Larisa, so much for inviting me.
Probably see you again. Thank you.
Are you ready for your Energy for Life bioenergetic nest scan? Dr. Larisa Sharapova and myself, Priscilla Koblenz, offer personal, private, 90-minute consults to get you back to optimal health and well-being. For more details, visit the show notes or check out harmonicalignment.co. We hope you enjoyed today's episode of Harmonic Alignment. If something resonated with you, we would love to hear about it. Please consider leaving us a 5-star review and subscribing so you don't miss an upcoming episode. Thank you. The information contained in this podcast is provided for informational purposes only and not intended for the purpose of diagnosing, treating, curing, or preventing any disease. Before using any products referenced on the podcast, consult with your healthcare provider. Carefully read all labels and directions. The products and information received through the podcast should not be used to replace a consultation or advice from your healthcare provider. If you suspect you have a medical problem or have any healthcare questions, please promptly call your healthcare provider. This podcast, including Dr. Larisa Sharapova and Priscilla Koblenz, and the producers are not responsible for any possible adverse effects from the use of information contained in this podcast. This podcast may contain endorsements and advertisements for products or services. Individuals on this podcast may have a direct financial benefit to the product or services referenced.